Oh.
But we'll pull it forward and move the bucket as we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I wanted to farm from a child, just followed Dad everywhere, and kind of as I grew up, began to think this is going to be kind of hard by myself. I don't know that I can do this. So then Dennis and I started dating around the time we went to college. We both grew up in Seymour, and he wanted to help in the summers. So then I thought we can do this together, and we both graduated. He's a Spanish teacher by training, and I'm an editor for TV and radio. So there's that, but we really had a heart for this and a passion for this. So
we decided to do it.
Agriculture, when we moved home, had a real push, and I think it still does, for kind of bigger, better, faster, stronger, a push for yields, and to us that just wasn't always the thing. It wasn't always that important.
It's not necessarily the healthiest. So like a lot of people, they get their feed and it mostly has corn and soybeans in it, which is cheap and fast food and make things grow. Well, we wanted to provide a variety of food for our animals. So healthier food usually means healthier people, so that's what we were going for.
I am really pleased. 30 years ago, I was afraid that young people, we got away from having gardens and simple things. I was concerned that young people could, even if we had a terrible depression or something like that, whether they could even supply their own food. But there's a lot of young people that are going this route, and that gives us hope that at least they could survive.
Okay, so this particular wheat we call it a nurse crop to help our alfalfa come up, and that's what the green stuff is down there. And we'll go ahead and let this little swath mature and harvest it, and then this is what we use for our flour that we make. So it's soft red winter wheat, and we grind it to whole wheat flour.
And that flour is used for cakes and pancakes and waffles.
Pizza dough, muffins, that kind of thing. So we keep it, we don't spray this wheat because we want it to be chemical free. We want to just use it in that way. But can you tell like how we harvest it, or how?
Well, then usually around the 4th of July it'll be golden color, and then we harvest it with our combine, which is sitting in the building behind you. But and then it usually is clean enough that we've got a little seed cleaner that we run it through then after that to get it to the, so
that will remove like the weed seeds
and stems and
yeah,
straw and that. But it's just we've got the field across from our house is all wheat, but it's got fertilizer and on it, and so we try and keep this little space just for the consumer to have. It's just something that Tricia's starting the last 2 or 3 years.
Since we already have the equipment to do grains, we wanted to make a way that we could give it directly to the consumer for food, not send it away for processing. So, yeah.
That old water, you could play that. I'll let you get this.
Sure.
You can see Mary's in the woods and
And then to educate the community is even more important than the products being sold, because then people know where their food comes from and how it's grown, and those are all very important.
I agree. I think for farmers too, a big part of what we're doing now is marketing, and that doesn't come as easily to us maybe as it does to someone else. So it's nice that someone can make that connection for us, is willing to kind of go between. I think that's very valuable.
I mean, that's one of the nice things about it is being able to provide differing foods from different people that they all grow, and they put their love into that product. Yeah.
When Dad was a child, he talks about how the community would rally and gather together. One person had pigs, and they would all work together to butcher the pigs, right? You were telling,
Right.
and they would get specialties as far as like your dad would render the lard. And then when you had beef to butcher, that was taken care of with community help.
And harvesting the wheat, that was a very demanding job, and all of our neighbors around here went together to do that.
The threshing, and so we've lost a lot of that over the years, and I think things like the co-op are a good way to build that community again.
Well, and I think just the general public is more interested now than they were several years ago in their food and where it comes from. That they respond to us as well as us responding to them.
All things old are new again, something like that. Yep.
When for generations you've worked so hard to get to this point, and then so many people just have to sell their property or whatever and can't go ahead and carry on, it's great. It's the best thing that's happened.
You're proud of us?
You're gonna make
We're
me
proud of you too. It's great to get to do this. We love it.